So here it is. We're actually making the way here to the Lincoln home, and we're looking at the benches here. There's actually some little areas here to rest here, and there's even a little welcome area here to the park. And you can see what this place looks like. Pretty amazing, pretty amazing. It's one of those things where you can really enjoy.
Please follow me.
So we're following our guide here. We've gotten permission to record. This is walking us to the park. You can pause even if you like and watch this video at home at your leisure. You can see here some of these benches and other areas where it's possible to stop and enjoy. Spend some time reflecting on Lincoln, and there's even a squirrel there. So yes, this is a pretty amazing place, and we've gotten permission, as I say, to even put this on YouTube. So this is really a great day for us, and I'm sure all of you who get to watch this and enjoy it at home. So if you can't come to Lincoln's house, this is the next best thing. So I'm glad you guys are able to watch at home here. Here you see various historic markers. Not really markers, but descriptions of how things are. So this, I assume, is the home. We're walking up to it very slightly, and yeah, we have to kind of see here. So you can see it even says A. Lincoln on it. It's got a little plaque. That's what it looks like. I tell you, for those watching at home here, this is amazing that we're able to record this.
All right. Welcome to the Lincoln home. The home you see behind me was the only home that Abraham Lincoln and his family ever owned. They lived inside of this house for about 17 years, from 1844 until 1861, when Mr. Lincoln became president. It is also the original. It's not a model or a replica. This home has been on the same spot since 1839. Now, the Lincolns originally purchased this home in 1844 for the grand total sum of $1,500. And when they purchased this home, it did not look like this. Originally, this home was a 1.5-story cottage, and it looked very similar to that gray house with green shutters right over there. That was perfectly fine for the Lincolns at the time, because in 1844, there were only 3 of them. Abraham Lincoln, his wife, Mary Lincoln, and their oldest son, Robert. However, over the next 17 years, the Lincolns would live in this home. 3 more children would be born here, meaning the family did have to expand. So between 1855 and 1856, the Lincolns first expanded the home backwards, adding several more rooms, and then they added this second story to the home. Now, a few things about the neighborhood before we go inside. Most of the buildings that you see around you are original, and they have been restored back to their 1865 appearance and location. There are also 2 other homes you can visit right after this tour, and they do not require a ticket. You can go to the Dean House right over there, which has an exhibit on the Lincoln's time in Springfield. And you can also go to the Arnold House right over there, which has an exhibit on historical restoration. Now, does anyone have any questions? All right, our first stop in the home will be the parlor. That would be the first door on your left. When you enter the parlor, I just ask that you please make your way to the end of the room, just so everyone can fit. Furthermore, when you do enter the home, please show me your tickets one last time.
So we're entering the Lincoln home right now.
Thank you. Right this way.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this is what the Lincoln home looks like. Pretty amazing place. I'm going to put this on a little bit of a panoramic view here. So making our way, this is the parlor, making our way around. Pretty amazing. This is the old historic, yep. Yep, so that's what it looks like. Old historic home. Yeah, so we're going to see the guide here talk, and we're going to listen here as he talks.
All right. Welcome to the parlor. This was the formal entertainment area in the Lincoln home, where the Lincolns would host social functions and where they would welcome guests, making this room a very appropriate place for us to start the tour, as you all are guests in the Lincoln home today. Now, when the Lincolns first purchased this home, the parlor did not look like this. Originally, only the front half of this room was the parlor. The back half was the bedroom, where 3 out of the 4 Lincoln boys, Eddie, Willie, and Tad, were born. This was also a room where a very important event in Abraham Lincoln's life happened. You see, in 1860, a delegation from the Republican National Convention in Chicago made their way down here to Springfield to this very home, and Mr. Lincoln was actually standing just right there when he was informed he had been selected as a Republican nominee for president. However, instead of saying yes or no to the job right away, Mr. Lincoln actually told this group of men that he would think about it. And so it took him 4 days of talking it over with his wife Mary and their children, but eventually Mr. Lincoln did say yes. Now, in the spot Mr. Lincoln was standing, there was once a wall right here with a door that led into the bedroom. However, during the 1855-56 renovations, the Lincolns knocked down this wall, expanded the parlor, moved the bedroom upstairs, and added these 2 folding doors. They are original to the home. Most of the black furniture that you see around you, with the exception of that rocking chair right there, is original as well, meaning the Lincolns did sit in them and use them. The wallpaper and the carpet are not original, unfortunately. They are just our best guess, based on both eyewitness accounts and these 2 sketches on either side. Those were published in 1861 by the Frank Leslie Illustrated newspaper as a promotional piece for the new President-elect Lincoln. This was so that Americans across the country could see where the new president lived, and in a way, you can sort of think of these 2 sketches as the very ancient ancestor of People's Magazine. We're now going to make our way through the dining room and then keep on going until you reach the sitting room, and I will join there.
So this is the dining room right here, and we're just kind of walking real slowly here. You can kind of see what this is like. And here's the where we came in at, but you can see it's kind of like what Reagan's house was like. And I'm going to walk around here. You can see the sitting room here, and pretty amazing. So I know that you guys have seen Reagan's house. You guys been watching my videos, so then Grant's as well. So this is Lincoln's. Reagan there and Dixon, and then Grant there and up north in Galena, Illinois. Yep. So yep. So this is what the
Also, ma'am, please don't make us the wall. Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
sitting
Can you
room looks
also
like.
put your bag in front of you? please?
Pardon?
Sorry, did I put your bag, buddy?
They're gonna scratch the walls. It's part of the pre-delivery
Oh,
stuff.
sorry.
Your bag's gotta be in front of you.
Oh, in front of me?
Yep.
Oh, sorry. I didn't
Yeah, fine.
Oh, that. Excuse me.
Go, keep on just going so everyone can see.
He said you had to lean, you lean.
Okay, and everyone in the back
Oh,
seat?
hey,
He said you can't.
I don't want to. Thank you.
Is everyone in the back good?
You're
All right.
not really all in here yet. Be close.
Hi. Welcome to the sitting room. This is where the Lincolns could relax after a long day of work. Now, in a normal evening in this room, you might have found Mary Lincoln sewing at her original sewing table to the right, making clothing for her husband and children. Robert Lincoln might have been reading a book on one of these chairs, and the boys, Willie and Tad, might have been wrestling on the ground near the fireplace, with Abraham Lincoln, the biggest boy of them all, joining in. Now, when I mean wrestling, I do not mean finger wrestling or arm wrestling. I mean full body, full contact wrestling. In fact, Mr. Lincoln was a very accomplished wrestler in his younger years, and he's currently an honorary member of the American Wrestling Hall of Fame. As you can probably imagine, it would be quite noisy in a room such as this with the kids wrestling, quite hard to relax. The noise from all the animals in this room and home probably would not help as well. Because you see, the Lincolns loved animals. And in fact, they had a pet dog who they named Fido. And Mr. Lincoln would also bring stray cats into the home that he would find going to and from work, much to his children's delight. In fact, Abraham ended up bringing so many stray cats home over the 17 years that he lived here that Mary Lincoln once actually joked to a friend that Abraham's greatest and only hobby in life was cat collecting. And so you can think of Mr. Abraham Lincoln as the very first crazy cat president. So please don't leave the wall. Thank you. Now, does anyone have any questions about anything you've seen on the first floor?
So what did Abraham Lincoln do here while he was like living here in the house?
For the 17 years he lived here in Springfield, he was mainly a lawyer representing the Central Illinois Railroad in the state. He also served one term as a member of the House of Representatives in Washington, D.C. Any other questions? No, the sprinklers are not always here. They were added in the 1980s. Any other questions? All right. We're now going to make our way upstairs. As you go upstairs, please use the handrail, not only because it's safe, but because it's the only original Lincoln artifact in this home that you can touch, which I like to say means that it's the closest that you can come to shaking Abraham Lincoln's hand and the hands of the 400,000 other people who come to this home annually. Now, after you go upstairs, please take a very quick look at the first room to your left. That is the guest bedroom, which has an original bed that was owned by the Lincolns in it. After that, please make your way across the hall into the master bedroom suite.
So we're actually touching the very rail that President Abraham Lincoln had touched. This is, you might not be able to be here to touch this rail, but this is how it goes. If you guys watch. Yeah, so take a look there. You can see what the bedroom looks like. And yeah, this is the amazing place. So yeah, you can see some boots there. And this is what it looks like in the Lincoln house. Yeah. You can see a nice bed that Lincoln there would have had. And pretty amazing.
Do not step on outside the blue carpet. The alarm goes off and it points a finger at you. They told us that in the beginning.
I didn't hear any of
Yeah.
that. I was in the bathroom. Sorry.
Don't step on it. I'm told to.
I won't. I'm on
See some of the artifacts here.
No, they could have asked you. That's in the pool. They thought you were standing there. I see this sensor.
So this is what it looks like.
Stay on the blue carpet. There you go.
Is there anyone behind you, sir? Yes, we are. Could you scoot down just a bit more towards me, just so everyone can fit?
It was you. It's pointed right at you. I'm going to offer her, but she didn't squeeze her.
We're good? Okay. Welcome to the master bedroom suite. You are currently standing in Abraham Lincoln's bedroom. His wife Mary's room is right behind me. Now, the first thing I'd like to draw your attention to in this room is the wallpaper. Does anyone have any particular opinions about it they wish to share?
Love it. It's so loud.
It looks like a French design, maybe.
Well, unlike the rest of the wallpaper that we have seen in this home, which is just our best guess, this is a reproduction of the original wallpaper that was in this room when Mr. Lincoln lived here. It's of French design, and it's very likely that Mary Lincoln was the one who picked it out from a catalog. Because not only was Mary deeply interested in French culture, but she could also speak and write French fluently. Now the bed, unfortunately, is not Mr. Lincoln's, it's just an antique. Because when the Lincolns left for Washington in 1861, they rented this home to tenants, and some of those tenants purchased and took the furniture with them when they left. And so the original bed made its way to Chicago, where it was unfortunately destroyed in the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. But you could probably imagine all the restless nights Mr. Lincoln would have in a bed such as this, staring up at the trippy wallpaper. Because in December of 1860, when Mr. Lincoln was still living in Springfield as president-elect, the state of South Carolina left the United States to join the Confederate States of America, and so Mr. Lincoln probably had a lot of stressful nights in this room. Now, one of my favorite artifacts in the entire home is right behind you. It is Mr. Lincoln's original writing desk. He used it when he was both a lawyer and a politician. This means it's very likely, although we do not know 100% for sure, that Mr. Lincoln may have written one of his most famous speeches on that desk, where in the speech he said that a house divided against itself cannot stand. Now the wardrobe and the dresser also did belong to Mr. Lincoln. However, everything else you see is a period artifact. We're now going to make our way through Mary's side of the master bedroom suite and into the hallway. If anyone has any questions about anything you see in Mary's room, feel free to ask.
There's a mirror. So you can see here a little wood stove. It's very small. There's somebody doing some restoration work, I believe, or other such work.
You're right. That is a toilet.
Kind of see what this looks like. Then there's the guide there. And let's see here what this looks like. This is one of the bedrooms here.
Probably going downstairs.
Now just go to the end of the hall, just so everyone can fit.
Yep. Yep. So that's what that looks like.
And the toilet.
And then here, you're seeing another little room.
Ranger, were the toys made of pewter or leather?
I'm not entirely sure what the toys were.
Yep.
I just know that they were handmade.
This is
Well, at least back in the day they were.
what it looks like.
The ones you see in here are just period pieces. Well, almost all. The checkers board in there is original, actually, and so is some of the marbles.
And then there's the stairs leading down here. So that's what the stairs look like leading down. There's a little window here. This is what the window looks like. You can see some of these windows here. They're above the doors.
Did
Yeah.
you see the rings in there that you were playing with yesterday?
Sorry. It's okay. I was trying to pull out of his finger.
Stop playing with your, you don't like it, don't do it.
This is what it looks like.
You guys are pretty good.
Got the blocks, checkers.
So anyway,
Games that they play with the, family anywhere, Jason.
Reagan's house and Lincoln's house and also too.
We're leaving our imprint on
Yeah,
this.
Reagan's house, Lincoln's house, and Grant's house are all kind of small homes.
The first thing you might notice about this part of the home, compared with the rest of the home, is the lack of anything on the walls. This was intentional, because this part of the home was for the Lincoln's private use only. Guests would never be allowed back here. Though I can say that the walls probably did not look this nice when the Lincolns lived here, considering Willie and Tad's bedroom was just right there.
I was gonna say.
In Mr. Lincoln's time, there were probably toys all over the floor and mud all over these walls. Ma'am, please tell me it's full.
Toys on the floor and mud on the walls here. That's what it was like in Lincoln's time.
That bedroom was originally Robert Lincoln's room. When it was Robert's, Willie and Tad slept in a trundle bed in their mother's room. However, in 1859, Robert Lincoln left Springfield to attend Harvard University. And so Willie and Tad got Robert's bed and all of his toys. Now the window in the boys' room also opens up onto the roof. The Lincolns did install railings there, either as a safety precaution or to show off their wealth. Either way, a local story goes that during the 1860 presidential election, Willie and Tad would run up onto that roof and yell at random people going by to vote for their dad.
They got on the roof and
Now the room at the far end of the hall with the open door is the hired staff's room. And if you take a look inside, you can see the only original exposed floorboards left in the home. In 1800 Springfield, it was very common for a middle-class family such as the Lincolns to have hired staffs. In the 17 years the Lincolns lived here, they had 17 hired staff, mostly women from Portugal, Ireland, as well as 3 African Americans. Most of them were teenagers, and the Lincolns paid them $1.50 per week and gave them that room in the back if they wished. However, most of the hired staff did live with their families in Springfield, and so they'd go back to them at the end of the workday. They would help cook, clean, look after the boys, and do general household chores. Now, does anyone have any questions about anything you've seen on the second floor? In 1860?
so this is the hired staff room right here.
Oh, really? They were.
Willie Lincoln was about, I think,
all about those boys.
sorry, I'm doing math in my head. Yeah, it's fine.
We have to go to Grant House together.
Any other questions? Yeah, they were quite young. Yeah. Any other questions? All right. We're now going to make our way downstairs. As you go downstairs, please use the handrail. Not only because it's very steep. Furthermore, the kitchen is very, very small, so be prepared to squish and make friends.
This is what pretty high ceiling there.
Everybody's question?
Sir, I do know that Willie Lincoln actually passed away in the White House.
So here's the kitchen. This is where the big stove is.
Did you show the bedroom?
It's the big stove. Let's see what this looks like here. Then there's your dining room here.
Very Lincoln stove. That came all the way from France or somewhere.
Oh, this is the kitchen?
Yeah.
Holy cow, we're all gonna
She
come
had
in
all
here?
the stove. Yep.
Here, let me get over
Yeah,
here.
we've seen this. Kids, let's go inside. We've
Yeah,
seen this.
I'll go.
We've seen this already. But the people that haven't seen this yet.
Oh, they got the muffin.
You guys haven't seen this.
Yeah.
The history on that stove is pretty cool.
It is pretty neat.
Yeah.
But Colton, you can sit in here.
Colton, if you understand, listen.
Yeah.
I'm
We're
gonna
cool.
stay and listen because I like to listen. You can go off.
You can see some of the old pots here and
Yeah, he asked them about history.
pans and
Yeah,
stuff.
over here. Yeah, go over here.
On the front,
So people can see over the top
Take a
here.
look at what you see, food here, so you can write that down on your list.
Oh, I have,
Take a look and see what kind of food is over here.
I have the upstairs, downstairs, and all this.
See a little broom there. That's what the old brooms look like, I guess.
That's the whole board here.
Yeah, yeah, that's,
Pretty big wood stove.
yeah, real nice, easy design.
2 panels, 5 boards.
Yeah.
I just been on the landing, I guess.
Right.
Welcome to my favorite room in the Lincoln home, the kitchen, because this is where they made all the delicious food. Now, the only original artifact in this room is the cast iron stove you see in front of me. That was purchased in 1860 from Buffalo, New York, and it weighs about 600 pounds. Everything else you see is a period artifact. Although one of the most interesting things about this room actually has nothing to do with any artifact, it is actually the size. This room is very similar in size to the log cabin that Mr. Lincoln was born in Kentucky in 1809, and the cabins that he lived in as a boy in Indiana and Illinois. So you could probably imagine living in a home this small with a dirt floor, log walls, and living with up to anywhere between 4 and 7 other people. It's for that reason I believe that this part of the home, out of every other, truly symbolized Abraham Lincoln's ability to rise above his humble origins and support his family. And I really think that Mr. Lincoln was able to do so, because he was able to buy this middle-class home, have a good-paying job, support his family, and live 17 and probably the happiest years of his life right here in Springfield. And although there were some bad memories in this home, I do believe that there were a lot more good memories than bad. For example, on an average day in this home, you might have seen Willie and Tad running through the sitting room hallway, past Abraham and Robert, who were eating on the dining room table, attempting to steal food from the kitchen, as Mary and the hired staff were cooking. That image is why we preserve the Lincoln home today, because although in the modern day we remember Abraham Lincoln as the 16th President of the United States, President during the American Civil War, and whose face is now on everything in this country, from Mount Rushmore to the $5 bill to Pez dispensers. Well, he lived here in Springfield. Abraham Lincoln was never known as Mr. Lincoln the President. While he was here, Mr. Lincoln was known as Mr. Lincoln the husband, father, lawyer, politician, neighbor, friend, and most importantly of all, the cat collector, who was not that much different from you or I. With that, we will conclude our tour. Once again, my name is Ranger Jonas, and on behalf of the United States National Park Service, I would like to thank you all so much for coming out on this tour today. I hope that everybody enjoyed it, and that you all learned something new about Mr. Lincoln and his family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So,
If you could, please open that door right behind you to lead out to the backyard. I'll be out there for a few minutes if anyone has any questions.
so God be
Josh, is that a
blessed.
coal or
God
a
be
wood fire
praised.
stove?